This is Nic Baisley for FilmSnobbery. I'm here at the FirstGlance Film Festival. Just got done with a wonderful distribution and digital panel with one of the panelists right here, Jason Brubaker.
Hi everybody, I'm Jason Brubaker. I run the ever-growing popular filmmaking website, filmmakingstuff.com, and I teach filmmakers how to market and sell their movie without the middleman.
Without the middleman. Who's the middleman?
Well, in the traditional sense, the middleman's anybody that comes in and wants a piece of your action without really, in my opinion, sometimes they provide value, but a lot of them don't, unfortunately.
So you're a filmmaker yourself, and was this website kind of born out of frustration of having from experiences that you had yourself as a filmmaker?
Sure, yeah. Back in 2005, we made our first feature film, which was this zany zombie movie, right? And it was pretty goofy. Afterwards, surprisingly, we gained somewhat of a cult following with that, and we had no idea what we were getting ourselves into. And you have to remember that time, back in 2005, 2006, is when some of the online platforms started to emerge. And like a lot of filmmakers, we thought, somebody's going to come and give us $1 gazillion and we'll live happily ever after. But unfortunately, the people who came did give us offers, but none of the offers really had any monetary value. They'd say stuff like, hey, we're going to get you into the video stores, you'll be able to see yourselves on the shelf, and we're like, great, that feels good, it's great validation, but does it do anything for me so that I can make movies and continue to make movies? And the answer was no. Through that experience, I figured out how to market our movie online through the Amazon marketplace, and we were very successful. And lo and behold, a lot of those video outlets, those DVD outlets, are no longer in existence. So we did the right thing there.
Now, let's talk a little bit about, you kind of hit a little bit of a nail on the head, people making offers, this and that, and trying to find, the right platform for the right movie. Should everyone, a lot of filmmakers pretty much just do a shotgun approach, and they're just like, I want it on everything. Is that smart, or is it smarter to try to target your content to one specific platform?
Well, I think you said something there. A lot of filmmakers do not, and they haven't traditionally thought about a marketing, sales, and distribution strategy. But that's completely wrong. For modern movie makers, people that are now making movies and they want to take advantage of some of these non-discriminatory marketplaces, they need to have a strategy. But in terms of what you're describing, the shotgun approach versus a very focused, what would you call that, like sniper approach? It depends really on the content. It depends exactly what the movie's trying to focus on. I know for the zombie movie, for example, some of the folks that watch that are just as happy to watch it on some of the most obscure platforms out there, just as they're happy to go onto Amazon and watch it there.
And how about yourself? Do you have a preferred platform that you like to frequent as far as watching movies?
That's a great question. I've rented some stuff off of iTunes just because of the ease of access. I can just do it through my computer, click, rent, and now it's on my iPod for a period of time. But late at night, I like to watch some stuff on Hulu. I think that there's no obstacles to it. I just have to sit through an advertisement.
Cheers.
Do you see more of a trend, or would you like to see more of a trend of being able to say, all right, I'm watching a movie on my iPad or my tablet, right? But I got to go do something, so I'm going to pause it there, and I'm going to go pick it up on my TV later, and then maybe on my mobile phone after that, or my computer later, or something like that. But all from the same spot that you left it off at. Is there anyone out there that's currently doing that?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of emerging platforms that are going to allow you to do that, and I know there's a lot of talk about some of the stuff the studios are doing that are going to allow for that as well. But when we're thinking about the everyday viewer these days, it's not so much that people are really stuck to any timetable. It's like, hey, I'll watch this when I get to it, and I think that's what you're describing, and that's where the future is.
And, one of the things we never got a chance to cover at the panel, but I'd love your opinion on, is with all these digital platforms out there and the net being what it is as far as how open it is right now, piracy being a huge factor in a lot of decisions of what people make. I think people look at names like iTunes, Amazon, Netflix, and they think, well, there's a security there. But then you look at some of the other more emerging platforms that are just starting to get out there, or some that maybe have been there for a while, but are just not the top three. Do you think that concern is prevalent in the community, the filmmaking community, of like, well, if I put it on there, someone's just going to rip it?
Yeah, I think a lot of people are really, really preoccupied with the idea of piracy, and unfortunately, I guess what I'm about to say may sound a little bit controversial, but a lot of movies might benefit from some piracy. And I know in some of the titles that I've been behind, piracy has actually helped the sales of our movie. I was talking at a panel some months ago, and somebody actually raised their hand. I can't verify this, but they said Mark Twain had the same problem with his books, where once they became pirated, it actually helped in terms of a marketing push. So for the filmmaker that doesn't really have a whole lot in terms of marketing, maybe piracy is worth exploring.
And there are companies out there that are kind of trying to establish it, like Photo and stuff like that. Photo, and even BitTorrent to a degree, like the Pirate Bay and whatnot. They were trying to use that, but the question is, how can you monetize?
My thinking with that, here's one strategy that I know a lot of filmmakers talk about is they'll accidentally get 45 minutes of their movie pirated, so that if it does have that appeal where somebody wants to watch the remaining 15 or 20 or 30 minutes, well, guess what? They're going to have to purchase it.
And how can film festivals benefit from all these different platforms out there? I mean, do you see it as more of a a team up type of thing with a lot of these platforms? Do you see it as as a way to maybe as an extended distribution model that is an offering from a film festival?
Absolutely. I think film festivals would benefit a lot by finding some platforms that they can partner with to get the content out into the marketplace. And at the same time, film festivals have traditionally done a very good job of sourcing an audience of film goers. So I think that's underexploited and needs to be thought about some more.
Now you have a book here, and I want to talk about this for a second too. What's the book?
The book's called Filmmaking Stuff: How to Make, Market, and Sell Your Movie Without the Middleman. And it's based very loosely on some of the content that you'll find on my website. And that's been the whole goal of Filmmaking Stuff all along. It's about 4 years old now, and the website's full of all sorts of articles on how to exactly go out and empower yourself as a filmmaker and not really rely on anybody. I have a very self-contained business philosophy when it comes to making movies, where it is, I'm going to create my story, I'm going to put my production team together, and I'm going to sell this thing myself.
So kind of which goes along really well with like the whole kind of DIY attitude that a lot of people have right now. And you also do some other work too, though. We happen to know some similar people, it seems like. So
absolutely.
Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, in full transparency and disclosure, at the time of this interview, I work as the director of operations for a company called Distribber, which allows filmmakers to get onto some of the popular video-on-demand platforms that are emerging out there, such as iTunes, Amazon, and Hulu, and some of the many other ones.
Because a lot of times, a lot of those platforms have, for lack of a better term, a pretty strict gatekeeper in terms of getting them on, getting on their platform. So unless you know who that gatekeeper is, you need a third-party, aggregator.
Exactly. Yeah, the term is aggregator, and what makes us a little bit different than everybody else out there, we don't collect anything on the back end. So you pay a one-time upfront fee to access whichever marketplace that you want to access. If we're unsuccessful in getting you in that marketplace, then we give you a refund minus a $39 processing fee.
And where can people find that online?
They can go over to moviesaletool.com, moviesaletool.com, and that'll lead them right in there.
And obviously filmmakingstuff.com and
Filmmaking Stuff, and get the book at filmmakingstuffbook.com. So a lot of places out there.
Great. Well, thank you so much. I want to appreciate you coming on and chatting with us.
I appreciate talking to you. You have a good one. Thanks,
man. You too.